I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And today we're taking a look at a game called Wraith and the Giants. This is from Renegade's Solo Hero series, and it actually is for one player for once.
How about that? They're back to basics.
A couple of their games are 1 to 2 players, so
Yes.
that's a little amusing. But this is a solo game, which is about one person fighting giants, which is starting to become more popular in board gaming.
Yes.
Leviathan really brought this into focus, as well as Primal and things like that.
Yeah, and there were some
Boss
other.
battlers.
There were some pencil first games that did it back in the day. It's a genre that's somewhat well trodden, especially in video games. But yes, you're right. In board games, we've now got a few.
Well, Z's going to show us how to play it. We'll be right back.
The game comes with 4 versions of the giant. Here we're taking a look at the earth giant, but you've also got the air, water, and fire giants that you can choose to play with. And you have 3 versions of your character, your Wraith here, young Wraith. But you could be adult Wraith, a little more complicated, a little more going on, and then elder Wraith, a little more than that. With the idea being that you start with these 2, the earth giant and the young Wraith, and you will play through this, stepping up the difficulty and the complexity as you go. So here we've got the game already a few rounds into play so that I can explain some of the ideas. What you are attempting to do is take down this giant by reducing their life to 0. We set it at the beginning based on this number right here, 30, and this number right here, 5. So the giant's health gets 5 plus 30, and it began with 35 right there. If I go through that, I'm going to win. I will also win if I'm able to scar the giant a certain number of times, in this case, 3. This is me on the giant itself. You begin on the ground, and you'll be climbing the giant from weak spot to weak spot, damaging it, moving around, jumping off, sometimes climbing back, that sort of thing, in order to win, of course. This up here are the cards that represent the giant. They are going to show you weak spots, and they are going to show you what the giant might attempt to do when it is their turn to act. So we are going to take it from the top of a round here. It shows you the turn order so that you see what's going on. So the very first thing is we do the player action step, in which I'm going to play 2 cards from my hand of 5 here. I must play 1 to the top, the first action row, trigger that, and then I'm going to play 1 to the second action row and trigger that. As you can see, the cards stick around, and you show just the bottom banner here on the previous cards, because often those things on the card will be improved by previous symbols, such as seen right here, we have a bow symbol, and then that eyeball symbol. That means when I did this, instead of it having a number printed next to it, we count the number of symbols, in this case, 1, 2, 3, and that's what the number there would be. So I shot 3. This is for climbing. This one here is fireworks, and it attacks the area where you are, the weak spot where you are, and every area around it, if applicable. This one lets you drop back down, and then there's a couple of other symbols as seen right over here. There's a sword attack, there's a few other things you'll be dealing with. So the very first thing I do is play 2 cards. So let's say, for example, I want to play this card. What this card does is it lets me do a sword attack with a strength of 3. If a card ever has 2 halves, like this, by the way, then you choose which one you want to do first, then do the other one. I'm going to play that card right there. It will not care about the symbols, but of course I am still building them up. And I'm going to do an attack 3 with a sword. So it needs to be where I am. Right now I happen to be right there on weak spot C3. Now, if we go up here, we take a look at these cards, you'll see they have quite a bit of information on them, but they basically have at the top here an amount of health. If you do that many wounds to that weak spot, this becomes a scar. It tells you below that what the weak spot is, in this case, A3, C3, E2, what have you. And then down here, an ability that will happen when the giant attacks you, plus a symbol to trigger some possible responses from the big bad here as well. I'll show you that in 1 second. So I'm going to attack here. We have to check if one of the current valid weak spots is that spot. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing anything. And it is indeed. It's that spot right there. C3. is where I'm standing. That means I have somewhere to put this damage. I would be taking 3 from the pool and putting them on that card because that's what I'm attacking. There are a couple of things to consider. There are some always active abilities here. This one says weak spots adjacent to this card are dealt 1 fewer wound when attacked. Well, that's something I can ignore. And there's another one there because that would be this spot and this spot. So I'm good. I am going to attack for 3. I'm going to take 3 from here and I am going to put them on that card. I'll remind you, if I get to 7, I'm going to flip this card face down and it becomes a wound. It'll stay in the line. It'll keep moving forward, as you'll see in 1 second. Right now it has 4 wounds. And I am done with that. Now I could play my second card and do whatever that one says, all right? Now something else I want to take a moment here and mention are fearless actions. They're listed right here at the bottom of my character, and I can do them before or after I play either one of these cards. I could have done that first, then played this card. I could do it now in between the first and the second card. I could do it after the second card, okay? I can do as many as I want to. But each one I trigger will give me a wound, and I have a wound limit myself. I can take 9, and then I lose. So I don't want to do that too flippantly. Those fearless actions, as you see here at the bottom, are going to be moving up. That's what that means. I can attack where I'm standing for 1, or I can drop. This 1, you can actually ignore that. It's a small printing mistake. The coming down the monster has no limit. So the 1 there is actually meaningless. You can ignore that. So there we go. I am 3 hits from making that a wound. I don't think I'm going to try for that. Certainly not by paying my life. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to play my second card down here. Let's take a look at what I've got. All right. Well, how about I do this? How about if I play this card down here? The 2 actions listed on it are going to be moving up to 2 and then shooting an arrow into an adjacent weak spot. I'm going to do that. I'm going to move. If it's a moving up, I must be going up. Here's what that means. From where I'm standing at the elbow there, I can go up to there and I can go up to there. But I cannot use a move up 2 here to go 1, 2. That second leg was down. And they mean literally where the dots are in relation to one another, all right? But I am going to go up. I'm going to go up 1 to there. And then with the arrow, it has an eyeball, I'm going to shoot 3, and I'm going to shoot into C3, which I know is available. It's right there, okay? So I'm going to shoot for 3. 1, 2, 3 from here. That is 7. That's enough to break this card. I'm going to remove all this damage, make sure it does not go back over here, and I'm going to flip it face down. I now have a wound. If that was my third, I would win, okay? With my turn done, I'm going to choose to end now. Again, I could trigger these. Now we're going to go to the second step, which is the refresh step, in which I'm going to take a look at my hand. I'm going to choose to discard or not any number of these. I'm going to get rid of that one. And then I'm going to draw back up to 5. If I cannot refill my hand up to 5, I would shuffle the discard pile, make a new deck, and draw then. If there are still not enough to bring me back up to 5 having done that, I lose. And the way that works is because many of the monster's attacks, as seen right here, are going to burn cards off of my deck and remove them from play, or give me wounds. Those are the 2 kinds of things he will generally do. That's it for the refresh step. Now we go to the giant action step. The very first thing is he tries to attack me with the leftmost card. Now, if this card has any wounds on it, it will fail. And we are going to instead move up this rage cube. Also, if this card, let's assume this wasn't there, does not hit me because I am not somewhere where it would hit me. Say, if I'm in A, B, or D, then that's going to happen. Let's say I'm not in any one of those regions on the monster. Then again, it fails, and the rage tracker goes up. So we're going to do that because it has wounds. With that done, this card goes away, as do these wounds. If this was a scar, we would just move it aside so we can track how many scars we've got, okay? But for now, it wasn't. I'm just going to discard it. I'm going to scoot everything over, and now we reveal a new card from this deck to the back of the line right here. If these are gone and I cannot do that, that's another way we lose. All right, so when we reveal a new one, the only thing we need to check right now is this symbol right here. Is that symbol anywhere on these other cards? If it is, they would trigger. But again, they would fail if they're wounded or if the text wouldn't apply and the rage would move up. In this case, there's no symbol that matches that blue little DNA looking thing, so we're good. And that's the end of his activation. We go back to the top where I look at my hand. I play one card here. I play one card here. I might do some fearless actions. I replenish my hand. And then I take a look at the first card, see if he hits me. That goes away. Scoot them over. Draw a new one. Check the symbol to see if that activates any of the other ones. All right. Now, as soon as there is an attack that does do something to me, which you have not seen yet, but let's assume the next one would hit. This one would hit. Okay. Well, then, let's say I am in let's put myself in D2 over here. And let's say it's his go, and he checks this card. I am in D. This card is not wounded. That card will go off. Well, it's going to do what it says here. It's also going to do everything it says on the rage track, where I am and below. That means if that was going to happen right now, I would take 1 wound. And then over there, it says I take 1 wound, I drop down, I'm going to, and that one might make me fall to the ground, I forget right now. I have to burn a card off the top of my deck out of the game. I take another wound, and I burn another card. And with that done, this comes all the way off. So once it goes off once, it resets fully. And this still goes away, and we scoot and draw a new card. So that's what happens when he actually hits. And that's the idea. That's what you are doing, going over this until you either win by knocking out all that life or getting 3 of those scars, or I lose by one of the many ways in which you can lose. My cards run out, his cards run out, I get 9 wounds, what have you. I think that's enough to give you an idea of what's going on. Let's go ahead and go back up top.
The game includes this storybook here, so you can read each of the stories as Wraith fights these giants. Also, it's terribly written. I tried to read it. It's not good.
Yeah,
writing.
I did not read it. I like the story in this game.
Right, I do, and the artwork is great.
Yeah.
I really like Wraith, how she looks.
Yeah.
The giants look cool.
Well, this idea of like the character's grandmother was the previous Wraith, and every 23 years, there's like, it's very Jeepers Creepers. Every 23 years, a new giant comes, and you have to fight. And so it's actually like there's 4 giants and 3 heroes, but it's the same hero as a young kid of like 12. An adult, right, 23 years later, I guess.
Right.
And then 23 years after that, or what have you.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
It's a way to have 3 different heroes, but it's the same hero.
It's, I mean, the history, the story, the setting, they knocked it out of the park. I really like that idea.
I also like the art. The game looks, initially when I first saw it, I was like, is this Leviathan for one player?
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of that as you move around the monster, although there's other board games that do such things. Mm-hmm. But it has such a weird cadence to it. And I think that's kind of how you like that cadence will kind of...
Yeah, I agree. It has a strange... it's a little mechanical, and no one's ever, faulted Scott Alms for not being somewhat mechanical, right, to be fair. But he puts out a lot of games. This one, with such a cool story and setting, unfortunately, you feel the weight of those mechanisms, the grindy gears of it a little bit more. Because while you're going, that's great. I really like that part of it. This idea of, as the heat of battle builds, you get better and better at the things. Action 1, Action 2, that's cool. And there's a lot built into that half of the game. The free actions, and not free, whatever, the ones that cost you your life generally. That's neat. I don't think I showed in the overview you can play a card face down to heal. You can do that too and not do anything else. I like that a lot. When you get to the monsters, when it gets a little grindy, you're like, okay, so the first card triggers. or not if it's wounded, and instead the rage goes up. Then you discard that, then you scoot them all over, then you draw a new card, and then they re-trigger based on the little rune, but they won't go away this time, they just trigger. And if A, B, and C, then you do this. Don't forget, you have to trigger the rage track if it built up at all, and then reset it. It's kind of mechanical.
And that's the thing. The game has that weird focus where you are getting more and more powerful.
Yeah.
And you basically, it's almost like you're on a timer track, though.
Yeah.
The timer track is the monster going to eventually kill you. So you need to get as powerful as you can and kill it before you can, which I like because I don't know of any other game that does it like that.
Yeah.
You're right about the monster, and my concern about the monster, and my negative about the game, and I like the game, but my negative is the monster can be random, and there were a few times where I was playing, turned over some cards, and I was like, oh, I'm dead.
Yes.
All right. Well, I thought I was winning for a moment there. and I didn't feel like I lost necessarily because I played poorly, but just because of how the cards for the monster came out.
Yeah, I think an advanced strategy, I am by no means there, is to not ignore those runes until the card flip, but actually look at them and go, there's 3 blue runes of the same kind. I should maybe wound one of those. Or if the flip is blue, I'm burnt out.
Right.
And again, I'm not quite there yet, so it's not something I'm looking at. I'm mostly like, that's going to hit me next turn. Wound it, so that the card fizzles.
But you do find yourself like jumping all over the monster. I'm like, well, I can't get up to the giant's ear right now. I'm just going to take that.
Yeah.
And then I regret that later usually. Mm-hmm. But it again, you're right. Maybe someone who's better, but to me it felt a little random at least. I didn't hate it because the game isn't long.
Right. Yeah, to me, the biggest knock against this game is there's a pretty good lack of clarity when it comes to how some of these things work and interact, unfortunately. I did some digging online, but that's not an excuse. The fact that I can usually find a rule answer on Board Game Geek isn't helping me when I have this in front of me and I'm traveling or something, this would be a great candidate for that, taken on a road trip. There's too much lack of those little moments of clarity, and you're also, because of the little moving parts, expect the first 3-4 games you play of this maybe to make small rules mistakes. It happens a lot. You'll do a thing and then realize like, oh, that card says I should put 1 fewer wound next to it. Like, oh, I'm going to keep going because I'm not retconning that. There's one card, when you play the adult Wraith, there's one card you play where you get to discard cards from the Giants lineup. I don't know if I'm supposed to replenish back up to 5 or not after I flip. I got rid of like 4 of those. I left a single card, and I'm like, okay, does that card go off and then I flip over a single card? There's nothing, and it will never replenish unless I'm supposed to. So I did, but I made that rule up. I have no idea if that was right. Stuff like that can take the wind out of the sails of something like this.
I'm a little more forgiving. Don't get me wrong, I hate bad rule books.
Yeah.
I'm a little more forgiving because it's a solo game, and whenever I have to interpret rules like that, it's always going to be the one that benefits me the most.
Sure.
Because I don't care. And this game I thought was hard. I think I killed 1 giant.
Yeah.
But I lost. Like I said, there was a couple times where I was like, well, let's try that again. My first game, I was kind of just feeling things out like, ooh, I think I got this.
Right.
Oh, no, I don't. Suddenly you just die.
Right.
But I like it overall. I like the theming. I like the art. I like stuff. It's not great by any means, and I wonder if it might be forgettable over the years and stuff. But it's a fun theme. And yes, you said it's very mechanical, the actions, but it works for me. This is the kind of solo game I can get behind. And I also feel like it stands out a little bit with some of the stuff it does. So I give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm giving it the same thing, actually, a 7 out of 10 for me as well. And I agree with you there when you say this is the kind of solo game I can get behind. I was actually just talking about this earlier this week about how I'm not really into the big sprawling solo game. I'll just go play a video game. I don't want to have to do that much upkeep. But for this, you're right. It's put out the 2 boards, shuffle 2 decks of cards. I'm pretty much ready to go. It has a nice amount of content in the box also. 4 giants, 3 heroes, any combinations of those things you want. We haven't even talked about the footholds variants you can throw in there. That's a good amount of stuff included in here for you to mess with, to explore. So I like it. Yeah, it gets dinged for being a little clunky, in some ways feeling a little bit like the bargain bin version of Leviathan Wilds. It kind of has that feel a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. I've had a good time with it, and it's one I could see myself exploring a little more. It's not an evergreen for me, but I could see myself messing with it a little more.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Wraith and the Giants. Check it out. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
We stand up to giants.
Mm-hmm.
I am a giant. Wait, what? Hey, thanks for watching another video here on the Dice Tower. We really appreciate you stopping by and checking our things out. Thanks so much for joining us today. And hey, if you really like what we're doing here at the Dice Tower, then there are different ways to support the Dice Tower. One of those ways is through Patreon. We have links in the description of this video, and we have links to lots of other things we do down there, so definitely check it out. But either way, we're glad you watched us. Tell your friends about the Dice Tower. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vassell, and I hope you enjoyed this video.